Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Justin Kolar with Wood TV8. We are live this morning in Midland County. We're not too far from Midland. We're actually on Isabella Street. Midland would be just about 2.5 miles up the street this way. We're actually parked next to Fox 17. As you can see, this road that we're standing on is just completely, it's flooded. I'll give you a closer look of what we're dealing with. I'm wearing waders this morning to try to give our viewers a closer look at exactly what we've been dealing with here throughout the morning. But all of this heavy rain, this is just absolutely devastating for people who are living here. You can see the water here from the road, from the two dams that broke near the Tittabawassee River. All that water from the lake and the river just flowing into people's driveways, into their front yards, into their homes. There's some more dramatic looking ones over here I'll show you as well. So take a look at this. We were live down in this front yard earlier this morning. You can see that's at least 3 feet of water going right up to their front door, past the doorknob, maybe to the second pane of the window. And then you have a house like this right here, built up a little, but you can see the DirecTV dish halfway submerged. There's a couple interesting things to look at when we're looking at something like this. Again, we're in Midland County. This is Isabella Street. Thousands of people have already been evacuated. But if you haven't, and you're watching this, or you're just waking up this morning and you didn't get the alerts on your phone, you really need to get out of here because the water is still flowing into people's yards, onto the street. This is actually as far as we've been able to go. As I said, Midland itself, Midland the city, is right up past that bridge. But we just don't know exactly how safe the conditions of the road are to get any farther. And the main reason is not only because of water and we're driving a van, but you can see cracks in the road have developed or had been there, but the water is permeating through these cracks and is bubbling. And this is exactly how you start to get those road washouts. So the farther up, the closer to the Tittabawassee River we get, I only assume that the damage would be worse. And you'd have conditions like this when you're driving over a surface of a road like this where you would get a washout. And certainly we don't want to put ourselves in any more danger by driving over a road that is going to wash out, because that's certainly not good. And as we've been going along this morning, throughout the morning show, you can just see tons of debris just floating along the road here. I'll show you some more up here that we've been walking past all morning long. It's just incredible, absolutely devastating. Just a jug of water, tire. We'll take a little walk farther out here, but I mean, we have not seen a single person in any of these houses so far. As far as we know, initial reports say no one has died, no one's injured. So hopefully everyone's been heeding the warnings of the government to get out of here. But just take a look at this. This car, this truck, underwater. And we'll go closer to this house as well. You can just see this, the height of this water is just absolutely devastating for all these homes, for everyone who calls this area home. We are in mid-Michigan again, Midland County. This is Isabella Street. And again, we probably could get a little farther, a little closer to town, but we just don't know how safe these roads are. We've seen a couple of people in big jacked up trucks go through, but again, we're driving a van, and we got pretty far as it is. So I will show you this as well. All of this water coming from the river, from the dams that broke, is just flowing into people's front yards. And you can see, I mean, this is amazing. You can see the light is still on in this house. I can only imagine what was going through their minds when all this water started coming through. They didn't even turn off the lights. You have some homes that have been built up a little ways that seem to be faring better than others. This house, the front door is wide open. Absolutely devastating. And I apologize for the sunshine coming through. It's kind of hard to see some things, at least over here, but hopefully it looks okay on your end. And this is not a river that we're walking in. This is a road. So shelters have opened up across Midland County and across mid-Michigan for people who have been forced to evacuate their homes because of all this flooding. We have all that information for you on our website this morning at woodtv.com for all those shelters. But this is an increasingly dangerous situation, not only because of the flooding, but also because of the global pandemic that we're in. So these shelters have been set up so quickly. We don't really yet know exactly the conditions of those shelters. If people even, I mean, we see doors left wide open and lights on in these houses. We don't even know if people are wearing masks or anything like that. I'd have to look at a map, Kelly, exactly to know exactly how far away we are from where the dams failed. I have not looked at that yet. But again, the river, the Tittabawassee River, which the river flows through both of those dams that failed, is just about 2.5 miles up this street. So I can't imagine that the dam is much farther than that. But I mean, the flood damage here is absolutely terrible. So it's hard to imagine. So again, all that info is on our website for you. If you have family out here, if you know people who live in Midland, be sure to check on them. And not just Midland, but the surrounding counties as well. The surrounding cities and towns. I'm going to turn the camera back around. Now, there are 3 dams. 2 of them failed. One, as far as we know so far this morning, is still structurally sound. But I can't, not good. We'll show you another scene up here where we were at earlier this morning. I feel bad for my photographer. I had a feeling this was going to be what it was going to be like today out here, so I wore waders. My photographer is barefoot. Let's take another look here. We'll get a little closer to this house here and just show you the height of the water that they're facing. I know you can see it, but hey, good morning, Doug. We are on Isabella Street. So these are my feet right here. Not even a foot on the road. But again, the problem is, and why we're not driving any farther, is though the water is a foot or not a foot on the road, we're seeing this all across the surface of the road. Wherever there were cracks, the water's starting to permeate through those cracks. It's bubbling up, and this is how you get those road washouts. Just like we saw in Muskegon County and Laketon Township, that's where we were yesterday. Obviously, that was a culvert that failed, but this is how you get some of those road washouts. It starts to wash away that dirt, and then the surface of the road just goes. So I will show you this, though. So the farther you go, the surface of the road obviously higher than a lot of these houses that are built down driveways. So I'm just going for a little walk right now. And it's hard to, obviously this water is so murky you can't see anything. So I'm up on some grass I can feel, but now I'm back on a driveway. But I'm going down. Let's take a look here. So you can see now, as I get closer to this house, this is up to past my belt now. Yeah, past my belt, up past my pockets. And I'll show you the house right now that we're in front of. You can see, I mean, there's the door. Yeah, there's the door. I'm trying to move these comments. There we go. There's the door. Can't zoom in, I guess. And you can see the doorbell just above the surface of the water. Obviously, not a good situation. You can see, you can't even see the door handle. So I'm assuming this is at least 4 feet the closer we would get to this house. In the water now, almost past my waders. And this is just in someone's front yard. You can see that's the road. But the farther you get off the surface of the road, the worse the flooding damage is going to be. The deeper the water is. But it's even worse in some areas. So obviously the water here is high, but it's calm. Right here, that's just from me walking. The water here is calm, but if you go to other sides, on the other side, which would be the south side of the road, you have currents that's just carrying logs and all sorts of debris right into people's front yards. So I'll try to zoom in here, but I did show you this. There's in people's driveways, they've just turned into waterfalls. It was actually kind of incredible this morning as we were just getting started. It was still dark. You were starting to see wild animals wake up to this new reality here in Midland County, at least. Turkeys, deer, absolutely confused, just walking down the sides of this like grass right here, just having no idea what they're waking up into. It was incredible actually to see. I have a video of one of the turkeys. It was like 2 to 3 feet away from us, just what's going on here. This is some of that rushing water that I'm talking about right here. And as you can see, I mean, there's some small debris, but all of these logs, trash, there's just a tire right there. It's just getting carried and deposited into people's yards, which I'm sure is the least of their concern. Again, now that we have a few more viewers, I just want to say once again, all this information, we know at least 10,000 people have already evacuated, but Midland is a town of roughly 34,000, I believe. My numbers could be off a little bit on that. So roughly 10,000 have already evacuated. And we have all the information on where those shelters are on our website this morning at woodtv.com. But again, with the coronavirus going on right now, we don't know the exact condition of those shelters. And I'm sure that people are just trying to stay safe as possible, given all of the circumstances that are now compounding against each other. But we have not seen any people trying to get in any of these homes. We've not seen any people trying to leave these homes. We have seen a couple people, as I said earlier, in big jacked up trucks just driving through the road. But we have been speaking with the state police officers. They say we're safe where we are, but not to get too adventurous because we don't want to become a problem for them. So we're staying safe. We're staying on a high point of Isabella Street as you go into Midland. Again, I've said this a few times, but for people who maybe didn't hear it, we're about 2.5 miles away from Midland, which would just be up past the cars. There's a bridge over there. We know we have some media partners up past there. But again, I'm not sure exactly how they got there. Or maybe they were there earlier, because this road is flooded and it's very slow going if you were to go past it. But again, with the bubbling and buckling pavement, we just don't know exactly how safe it would be to try to even go any farther. So we're staying here. And just to highlight the difference here of houses built on different levels, you have this house right here. You can still see the doorknob. You can still see all the windows. Just a couple feet away, this door is half submerged and the windows are half submerged, just a couple feet away. So we are going to continue to be on air throughout the morning into the noon hour as well at Channel 8 Wood TV. I know we'll be interrupting the Today Show through cut-ins and things like that, so be sure to stay tuned. We'll try to bring you some more interesting information and show you some more parts of this that maybe I wasn't able to show you on this Facebook Live. But thank you for joining us. If you know anyone in Midland County, in Midland, around this area, be sure to check on them. Make sure that they have evacuated, that they know what's going on. I know these have been really weird times, and I know people aren't waking up as early as they normally do, and this is all happening so quickly. So be sure to check on your neighbors, check on people if you know them in Midland or Midland County, and just make sure that they know to evacuate. And again, send them to our web. If they don't know, send them to either the TV stations out in Midland, or send them to our website to get that information to where they need to go, to how to be safe to make it through this. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll bring you more as it develops. Thanks.